Oh, hello there, YouTube. Let's see. I'm going to adjust that a little lower. Yeah. And maybe come in a closer. I'm doing some pencil roughs for that short story. It has been a rough week. I don't know about you people. Good things, good news. I got a new student patron. It's very cool. You know what? I should mention some patrons' names. That's the thing I should do. I warn you up front. I just might get a little bit political at some point. Mostly I'm going to draw, though. That's no good. Why is that breaking up? I'm playing music through my headphones. But I'm getting issues. What is happening? Where is my task manager? There we go. That should be over here full time. So let me finish getting set up here. Don't need that. Close those windows. We're going to minimize that. Don't need that right now. I might need that. I don't need to see here the chat. Hey, so how you all been doing, Internet? Should be a little live thing. There we go. Live, work and press. Oh, not too much lag either. I wish you could hear my soundtrack. It's good. Playing the tail end of Moss Garden. Yeah. From Heroes. It's good penciling stuff. So I think it was somewhere around this last time I streamed. Not sure if I streamed that at all. I've been a little out of it. Drawing fallow is what I call it. Often after a semester ends. Last week was the last week of our semester at Sin Studio. And I often go into a few, at least 4 or 5 days of just like mental reset. So it's not so unusual for me to be kind of creatively fallow for a few days. I usually get into normally reading books and trying to like recharge the creative batteries and stuff. I should say looking at books, looking at art. Sometimes I'm reading them, but sometimes I just need to graze visual gardens. So, what did I establish? There we are. So that's a big wide. Nope, too close. Close, but too close. Let's get that. Yeah, that's more like it. Bollards. Last time I was drawing these on the camera, I remember not being able to remember what they were called. Steel posts. About there, but just a little bit less. I should just do the work. That's too close, but I like that truncation, so let's keep doing that. Yeah. So what I did was I just freehand measured off an angle where the post would be, and then I came in a little because I wanted it to reduce. It's a bit forced, but so is the angle here. It's just to exaggerate the perspective. And these lines won't be on the ground in the end, but they're orientation marks as I flesh in the scene. Generally, like, this is an important figure, so you went in early. But most illustration and definitely narrative art, you want to think about your shot and then build in a rough draft of the set. A little what I'm doing now is seeing the shapes, which I use exaggerated air quotes because in my case I really don't have like a picture in my head, but I've always felt like I can feel where things are supposed to be as a byproduct of practicing and learning how to get the shapes to look right and then remembering what that feels like. And I don't know, it's complicated. Aphantasia, man, what can I tell you? Apparently it's weird. I did not know that until I was about 40. Probably more like 42. I didn't know there was a name for it until then. Okay, so it's a cranky old lady. Oh no, she's a couple backs. That's the other lady. Who's she's going to be going in. So interesting hearing myself in slight lag, but it's getting a little distracting. I'm going to mute. There we go. I should. Hello, live. What's up? Hang on a second. Morning, folks. Just talking to the wife. One thing I'm looking forward to the next Comic Jam is that I can actually do playlists and be DJ. I figured out how to do my sound system through Zoom. So, add to the party atmosphere. I just heard that noise. Is everything working okay? It looks like it. Just gonna check. Yeah, it seems alright. Oh yeah, I was gonna make a post. I'm just putting out the word. Bitch. It's enough. I'll get back to drawing in a second. Let's check for that. Did things? Yes. Well. Yeah, that free comic book summer thing. Kind of annoying. I don't know. Just my opinion. I feel like the books should be provided to the retailers for free if you're going to help them. Or, you know what? Here's the suggestion. I don't know if I'm going to get out to a comic book shop. It's a while since I went to one regularly. But if I did go for one of those days, and I might find a couple of books that I'd want to get for the free comic book thing, get something else for one thing. Don't just go for the free comics. And then note that the retailers have to pay for them. They're hurting right now because of the shutdowns. Ask them what the books that you've picked would be worth to them in terms of what it costs them. Double that and give it to them. Consider it a donation to the shop. Just a suggestion. If you can do it, do it. I wish I could play the music without the copyright trick. But enjoy. All right. Checked. Looks good. So this guy's losing his shit. I'm trying to get the energy in the gesture. And this kind of gesture is a little different than the kind I do in dynamic drawing, where we have a moving model and you're trying to capture a quick impression movement. I am taking things that I learned from that kind of study and figuring out how to communicate the body in a state of motion here. little bit unstable because of the lift to heel in motion. And it's basically angry. What's the male Karen? Chad? I don't know, I forget what they're called. An angry one of them doesn't want to wear a mask. What's that? Masks are a good idea? Yes, they are. I don't give a fuck if you think they're not perfect. They help limit the spread. It is consideration you're showing your neighbor. Or not, by not wearing one. Aren't you charming? They work by keeping the stuff in, not keeping it out. If you're wearing it and you sneeze, not a lot of stuff comes out. It gets stuck inside your mask. It's your problem. But this keeps it to me, not your. My problem is not your problem. Most people do that. You have much less airborne carrier. There's a bunch of image means giving percentages for how much masks reduce stuff if both people have it or the COVID carrier, blah, 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 blah. That's maybe a little bullshit because they haven't had a chance to do proper comprehensive research to put numbers to it like that. But it is a guesstimate. Just looking at images of what happens when people sneeze, covered versus not covered, how much spreads, whether it keeps it off of petri dishes, for example. Look it up on YouTube. It works. That's what matters. Coming forward, they've got little spots, and was it pretty much, yeah. There we go. She's walking forward too. So right now I'm doing variants on walk cycles. I always tell my students study walk cycles, like walk cycles. Look it up. It's really useful because, so first of all, when people walking, make it look like they're walking. It works. Then there's picking your moment, the pantomime, the way people carry themselves, the body language. Those are variants on walk cycles and stances, and you need to figure out how the mechanics work and then look at how people personalize and express their mood and approach to everyone. Like this guy here. Actually, name too, let's see, yeah, too short. He's a big guy. But he always sort of reduces himself. We're not going to get to know these characters super well. So I've got to use, and you should always do this anyway, but I'm dependent on the body language, communicating their personalities. No one's talking. You just got a few pages with them, and I want you to feel like you get a sense of who they are. They feel alive. For one thing, there's the sort of obvious no-brainer thing that you want people invested in your your main guides through the story, whoever they may be. But it's not just manipulation, it's about craft and actually creating human stories. Not just retelling tropes. An awful lot of writing I got just feels like a retread of tropes. I should say. Got offered to do a freelance comic gig. I like the editor. I might say yes, but I really don't work with other writers anymore. That's a bit of a problem. They also don't want to pay me enough. But then it sort of depends on the scripts. I mean, there's a chance I'll really like it, so maybe I'll be willing to take a hit on the paycheck. Just a short story, so it's not the worst. If it was a good script, maybe. But comics are a lot of work. And if I don't love the script, I don't want to waste a second doing it. I don't care what you're paying me. That's the present, folks. Just spent way too much time doing that already. I was never totally on side with the classic William Burroughs slash what's her name? I'm blanking. Don't do anything that you'll regret later having your name on. Something to that extent. I'm paraphrasing. I think you need to take chances, and you got to allow the opportunity for yourself to make some mistakes. Having said that, I'm not sure I would do everything exactly the same way again. Saw a great chat with Ho Che Anderson a week ago. That was interesting. It also just reminded me of a different time, the early 90s when I was first getting into comics. And it brings me in a lovely roundabout kind of way to a few interesting things that have been going on in the world of comics. I still love the medium, but I'm going to be honest with you, that whole Jack Kirby comics will break your heart, kid, that landed pretty hard with me. It hit right in the sweet spot. I thought there'd be one thing, and I was wrong. How am I gonna frame that? I kind of like that idea. That's an interesting idea. What about, if I do this line, and then have one up front. Make sure I mark my, what the fuck's going on there? Oh yeah, he's, I have him in the wrong place. Oh no. continuity, man. Adam Savage has these moments. People say his soul dies inside. I don't think it's not really that, but I like this. So I'm gonna snap a photo and then away she goes. I want to remember that pose because I still want him. So this is just for the records. And then yeah, I can move his hip and stuff, and so it's just this stuff that I needs to go. And this is, so people ask about, why do you use the color erase pencils? Well, for one thing, when I've gone and done this, and if I keep using blue, it'll work. I can get this light enough. But it'll be even easier if I switch to red or something. It'll pop. I'll be able to see what I'm doing. Separate from the gaff of the mostly finished background that has him in the wrong place because he's already several feet away the other way. So I'm going to shift his pelvis just a tad more this way. And it's going the other way now. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to put the camera at knee height. And I like just a hint of a Dutch. No. I don't think that's going to be very interesting. Scratch it. All right. What I do know I want to do I want to frame that. So panels in. And I'm not listing my elbow, making going in and doing that easier. These are also, by the way, rough. These are not the final panels, but these will act as essentially the pencils for the panels. I'm gonna let that arm protrude. I like that. Okay. That's it. I think it's time to move to fuck you. And where do I want my camera? Much closer to him. Okay, time to change my music. What's that? Some DOA on. So right now I'm using mannequin forms, figurative contours, constructive drawing, but sort of like a quick gestural version of it. It's very useful when you're doing posing. You need a good gesture to work with, and unfortunately I spent some time on one that's right there and I can still see. One of the good reasons for actually not erasing everything. I can still get ideas of what I'm doing from my first attempt. It's like, yeah, just spread them out. Okay. Don't want to get bogged down on that yet. I need to get the rest of my set in place. So let's go past them there. He's here. It's going to be like there. Yeah. There. So what I'm doing, I'm going, oh, look at there, there, there. I'm eyeballing the space I'm creating with his body and the architecture that I've established and moving it around. So I mentioned aphantasia, and the way I compensate is, I always described it as like a CAD brain. I'm going to turn that loud stuff down. There we go. Having a CAD model in my brain, except I don't see a model. It's not a picture. It's the information about the structure, the software that one could build a model with. You know, it's like I'm seeing through, and as I'm talking about that, I'm just thinking about how I can see and imagine the structure in translucent 3D, and that allows me to figure out how I'm rotating it in space. And once I've established things like, I'm going to keep that Dutch angle, and it's at his waist. Everything below this line is essentially below the horizon. Just means the camera is at waist height. That means that I'm cropping the street, which I actually don't mind. And I want to have a main two characters. Very visibly reacting. Oh, I got the gesture there of a baked guy. Yeah. Turned to back on him. Just done with his bullshit. Grumpy old lady. Funny headgear. Am I too small? Is my awning too big? I think my awning is too big. It's close to the right shape, but it just scaled up. Should be starting lower. And that means this is more like there. And the awning comes out from here. Yeah. Oh, I did angle it in a little. Oh. Continuity. That's cool. Got it. Yeah, too skewy. There we go. Getting better. Now, there's thingies. Would not see the next one. Did I establish? Not yet. What happens over there? Okay, that works. And I like the movement with the sneeze. And you know what? I think I want an inset. With the two. Yeah, right there. That'll be perfect. So I'm blocking it to read as a straight flow from moment to moment, while also changing my aspect of the subject. I can create a rotation, which means I want to, yeah. So 3/4 rear shot. Yeah, works. Nice. Oh, hello. There are people in the chat. It depends. Tech Priest asked if I'd draw digitally after the sketch. I have sometimes, but generally no. I've started doing a little bit of digital drawing, and I'm doing it on a project called Dream Life. But this particular story is, that's what the pencils. So these ones are actually in pencil. But these ones I did with ink, with a pen. That's what they look like. And then the finished art for this story looks like that. That's it. It's going to be black and white line art. No words, no color. A wordless story in line. Nice and simple, so I can go fast. I do some digital stuff and other things here. You know, I think I can show you guys. I think I can show you. Is it queued up? Is it still in the same place? Will it work? So this, which you're about to see, is a quick scroll through my book called Mind Engine, and in it are samples of many things. It's not there. Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna go to title show 2 for now. Where can I do? I know what I'll do. I'll do this. Meteosaurus. Yeah. You not there no more. Wait a minute. There we go. Yes, videos. 3:16:21. Oh dear, it's not there. Where did I move it? I moved it somewhere. Cancel for a second. Select. I just moved all my video drives and things. Relocate. Is it there? It's not going to be there, is it? Well, let's try. No, of course not. That would be too easy. There it is. Okay. So now I can do this. There we are. So this is Mind Engine. It's my Mind Engine. You'll see there's different media. Those are pencils going by, but then there's some other finished stuff and some inks, black and white ink work. Dream Life, this stuff here, that's all digital. Then we have a mix of digital and analog with the New Armageddon Blues. I'm all over the place. You can see the bit that I just showed you, some other things. There's actually more not seen here, but it gives you an idea. All right, so I need the reaction shot, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 4, 5. Yeah, I'm gonna have them over here, and I'll send us back up that way for the next page. That's the page turn, folks. For those who are wondering, I was just putting them like this. See these pages? They'll appear in this order. That's 1. And it helps when you're doing your thinking to think about how the page turns work. So this is for physical books. Obviously digital, it's a different thing. But the reveal of the page turn in the physical book is a beautiful thing. So we start with the first page, and then we reveal our main characters coming out of their apartment. And then they wander into a world that we see in this 2-page spread that does a lot of world building. And then that spreads to some more ominous world building. And then they get to the place and the scene happens. And the sneeze isn't like a sort of a premium point, the first reveal here, but I like the wind up to it. That works. And then there's going to be a thing here that I have to figure out. And then the big reveal for the 8th page. The short story, just 8 pages. But here I want a reaction. So let's go to I want that first page. There we go. Continuity. You think sneezing makes people nervous now? Just you wait. So what I'm doing now again is basically a gesture. That's going to be my horizon line. Yeah. Hand up, guarded. All right. Pencils. I could definitely do more. But I want to power through and do the next few pages. Not tonight, though. That's been like an hour. Hey, you know, there's been some stuff going on in the world. Some people that I knew, sort of, not well, and another that I never knew, and can't say I liked very much, so I'm not terribly surprised, have been accused of being assholes. Yep, creepy. Grooming. Not cool. That's an understatement, by the way. I used to hang around the engine. I think I'll talk about that in the process pod. But that's for another day. Take it easy, wash your hands. Be nice. Consent is really important, and don't creep on the pretty girls on the internet, okay? It's just shitty behavior. Cheers.